Hey, hi, hello everyone. Very good morning to you all. Lovely to welcome you all to this session of Beyond the Gap, Hiring Beyond the Gap, a HR perspective. Today we have Monali Sen Gupta, who has been in the industry handling various verticals of HR operations for 22 years and plus. So today, Monali is going to run through in terms of HR, how do they see a woman on break, and what is that they expect from a women on break coming back into the work. Hey, hi, Monali. Good morning. Welcome to the session.
Hey, hi, Revati. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for calling me into this forum. It's definitely a privilege.
Yes. So Monali, yeah,
Okay,
let us run through, yeah, how to go about navigate this part of the session. Yes.
absolutely. So I'll just share my screen. Allow me a minute. Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, whoever is on the live stream right now. Thank you so much for your time. I know it's a Monday morning, and Monday mornings can be chaotic if you're working, not working, whatever.
It could be
But
motivational as well. Mondays can be really
absolutely,
motivational,
it
and we are
can
taking
be.
that in stride today. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely, Revati. And uh, what thank you to her second innings for giving me this opportunity. And what I am going to really talk today is something that I have gone through personally in last maybe 14, 15 months, and how I have, you know, paved my journey, my career, and what has pause done to me, and the very statement of pause to power. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened, how I really worked through. Just give me a minute. Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes.
hope
Okay.
my screen is up. Okay,
It is visible. Yes, it is.
okay, fine. And a little bit about myself, maybe. So, I'm Monali. Started my work 22 years back. Have These are the organizations that I have been very what do you say, lucky to go through some of the best of the brands in India. I started my career with Emphasis, joined on to Aviva, worked in the insurance claims industry. Reliance, the number one retail brand in India, it was coming up. That's when went to join the Reliance operations, retail operations. Having worked in financial operations, retail operations, 2011 is when Accenture happened. And that is where I found my niche and I started my journey in the HR service delivery and HR operations. And I'm sharing this journey not because it looks like a perfect journey where I started as an HR analyst and reached to a general manager, but because of the diverse background that I brought with me, and I was never apprehensive about trying something new. While I did everything starting from 2003 to 2025 that I was with Accenture, in between, life happened. So, this is where I was in my 20s or my early 30s trying to figuring out life. I came from a very small township of Orissa. Stepping myself in city like a Bangalore was a big thing. I would not say I was very ambitious, but I was very curious for sure that I came here and how do I establish myself. From there on, of course, between 2009 till now, marriage happened, children happened, caregiving of elderly parents happened. And sometimes in the year 2025, beginning of 2025, I thought, this is the time I must take a pause. And that was the pause moment. And maybe in the next few slides, I'll tell you what I went through that. Today, as I stand in mid of 2026, almost, this is what I am. I am in the journey of solo entrepreneurship, self discovery. I'm building life skills with my 7-year-old boy, exploring my entrepreneurship, and of course, reinventing self with AI. So, whatever I have learned in last 18 or 14, 15 months, I am going to talk about a framework called return. What this framework will help you all do is, of course, prepare yourself for your comeback or prepare yourself for every avenue that you're trying to explore, be it your interviews, be it your preparedness for those interviews, applying for those jobs, or even trying to figure out where do I really fit in today. I was working, maybe I had 7, 10, 15 years of career with me. I paused. Did I pause and did the world just move forward and I am just left? And at this moment, I would request, I mean, if you all can comment, please share your comment. And I would want to know, what do you feel currently? Do you feel lost? Do you feel underconfident? Do you feel, oh, did I do a mistake? Or did you feel that, are you rebuilding yourself? So whatever those thoughts, those feelings are, maybe if you could just send a one word comment, and that would help. Maybe I'll request someone from Revati's team to collate that for me, because today this particular framework return kind of covers all those emotions, all those questions. Quickly jumping into the return, what is this return? The first R, what it stands for is rewrite your story. And what do I mean by rewriting your story? I don't mean rewrite your resume. No. What is your personal brand? What does a Monali or what does a Revati stand for? And I am not, a lot of time, it happened to me when I took break, and I'll share one of those incidents. I associated myself with what my JD is, my job description is, my role is. I am a general manager at Accenture. Sounds great. And that sounds great. But what is Monali as a person? What has Monali done for last 22 years, 24 years, which has helped her build that? Do your personal branding. One of the key things that I want to give you today, and today I know there are thousands of resume builders in the market and so many AI tools who could write beautiful resumes for you. But something that you must do is a dirty exercise of writing your own resume with your own handwriting in a piece of paper or on a Word document, in a PPT. Do a mind mapping, do whatever, let it be the clumsiest resume that you are writing, but write every incident. Think through what helped you get the first job, what helped you get over those difficult conversations, what was the first difficult conversation you had with your boss, with your stakeholder, with your team member. How did you maneuver through it? Write it down. And I am sure you all are very much aware, or in case you are not, there is something called a STAR methodology: situation, task, action, result. Keeping yourself in the center, how did you manage that situation? What was that specific task that you did? What is that action that you took, and what results that you derived out of that? So always revisit your career, starting from the beginning, your first job, your first promotion, your first difficult conversation, your first award that you won. Sometimes once we have worked for 10, 12 years, we tend to miss those small achievements which once we as beginners felt very proud of. Today, when I become a associate manager, AVP, I may forget that campus trophy that I won. So write down every incident. What it does is it builds your personal brand. The you will come out in your resume, and your resume will just not be your job description of the roles or just the numbers what you deliver. While numbers are extremely important, I suggest do this resume writing, rewriting at least 5 times before you can hand over that to a resume writer or to an AI tool, who will of course give you a very beautifully good looking resume. So do that personal branding. Your resume, and also for us career, someone who has taken a pause in the career, long career, don't show that what you have missed. A lot of time, when we present ourselves, we present with a lot of think that, oh, I took a 2 years break. That comes first. No, your resume, your brand is what you were professionally at your peak. Don't forget that. Always bring that first and present your resume. And again, as I said, rewrite your resume yourself. Don't bother about language, don't bother about formatting, but pull out those memories from the past and put it and keep building upon it. That is what is, rewriting of your story. What also it does is it helps you build a personal brand. We women, we are very much conditioned to work very hard. The societal pressure or the DNA is it was what built. We love to work. We want to work for our children. We want to work for ourselves. We want to work for our immediate, ecosystem. And we think that it's only work, work, work. Even I thought so. I never bothered about promoting myself in the work. I thought I will work, my work will speak for me. That will someone will recognize and give me that promotion or that next job. In fact, there is a theory which Harvey Coleman, again, he's a very renowned HR practitioner and professor. If he told there is a pie model. And what does the pie model say? Your personal brand is 10% of your performance, your work. 30% your image, which means how you present yourself. Today, we are in a world, we have beautiful avenues like LinkedIn, Instagram, we have community forums. How do we present ourselves? How do we build that image that no, we are not that timid career break girls or women, and we are just looking for that opportunity, please give me that opportunity. No, what is your confidence? What do you bring with you? How do you present yourself? Even the lipstick that you wear, the glass, how particular about your image and how good you take care of yourself, that builds your image. And 60%, of course, what we call exposure. By exposure, it means who knows? So you are great. I am great. I am Monali. I have worked for 22 years. But who knows about it? Who is that person who will, anchor me? Who is that person who would advocate me in a room that no, I am not there? Will someone tell that, oh, okay, yes, you can go to Monali and she can tell you what HR stands for or what operations stand for? That building of that community. So, what is very important, especially if you have taken a career break, and again, it is not limited to gender, but you know, one is, of course, your work. You have worked on your resume, you want to work, but how you build that image around yourself for what you stand for. And that should keep coming through your LinkedIn presentation, uh, through the articles that you can build, through the write-ups, presentations, community work, be part of some webinars, how you give those talks. Today we are really really lucky to be in an era which gives us enough platforms to present ourselves and gives us that exposure. So this is the Harvey's model. Always remember in building your personal brand. This is something I would not take a lot of time because we are in a live session, but maybe I will share this and make a note. Your positioning statement should always have three different categories. One category, you are going on an elevator, you're just talking casually to someone, you're just entering a restaurant and meeting someone, and you introduce yourself. Hey, hi, I'm Monali and I'm so and so. Just those two lines, which will make the other person inquisitive about you. Oh, I want to know more about Monali. Hey, you know what? Take my number. That's how you build connect. In today's world, while we have our LinkedIn jobs, Naukri jobs, Monster, and we have our, the vendors, the agencies who help us, building that connection is your strength. So always create that positioning statement when you're building your brand. Okay, how you put that those works which are relevant. You should have two lines of your introduction. You should have at least 4 minutes pitch about yourself, about what do you stand for. if suppose you get a forum where you like this, where you get an opportunity to speak, you talk about yourself. And of course, you have your entire LinkedIn summary headline, which is an elaborate person. So always carry that with you. It doesn't come instantly. Again, it cannot be, hey, I am so and so, and I am a team manager with IBM, or I am an HRBP with TCS. That is not your positioning statement. That is the job that you do. Your positioning statement, I have just given an example here. You can read through. What do you stand for? What have you done for last 8 years, 18 years? And how you have impacted people, process, your environment. So the first R is rewrite your stories, which basically means how do you position yourself post your break is becomes very important. The next thing, E, erase the self-doubt. I don't know how many of you go through this confidence gap or the self-doubt. I will narrate a very personal experience that I had 14 months back, I was just I had just taken my sabbatical at Accenture. I was doing some caregiving. I had a ailing parent, a small child, and then I was also thinking, what should be my next step? I thought, let me take help of a career coach. I got myself involved with a career coach, and my coach asked me one simple question: tell me something about yourself. And that is, I think, one question that you will face in any interview, any conversation, any forums. Tell me something about yourself. I said, I am Monali and I work with Accenture. I froze after that. I froze. I didn't know what else to say because I did not work on my personal branding. I was so attached to my role that I had no idea what did I stand for, because I was feeling guilty of taking a break. I felt I was so vulnerable at that point of time that my confidence was the lowest. So, my dear friends who are a part of this conversation, this forum today, I'm telling you, never let that happen. A confidence gap is something you should really pull up. And I give a very simple theory or a 7% framework. We all start working at around 23, 24. Let me take 25 for some easy calculation purposes. We start working at 25. We work for at least 65 years, till we are 60, 65. That's what if you're working with only a corporate, that is almost 40 years. You are working for almost 40 years. You're giving your emotional, intellectual, physical energy into your work. Of that, if you have taken a 2 or 3 years of pause, that's hardly 7 to 8% of your lifetime. Now you tell me, will at after the once you are 60 or 65, will you really what do you say, really penalize yourself for taking that 7 or 8% of time off or whatever? It could be for caregiving, for your children, for your own self-growth, for going back to school, or trying something of your personal choice, building something of your own. So, all I'm trying to tell you is erase that self doubt. And that self doubt erosion happens when you work on your personal brand. When you keep writing and talking to yourself about what have you done, what challenges have you overcome, this automatically gets erased and you build your self confidence. See, a career is never meant to be a straight line. While you would see a lot of the career graphs, what it is shown is, a straight line. But you talk to any of the best leaders in the market, you read any of the best books which is on career, and I'm going to talk about those at the end of this conversation. They will all say a career is never a linear, it's never a straight line. It is like a mountain or a wall. You have to pause, pivot, grow, recharge. It's a quite a squiggly career. If your career is linear, you have not grown. If you have grown, it cannot be linear. Okay, so please erase that self-doubt out of yourself. What you can also do, that let's come to now the T of it, right? Talk like you never left. And by this, what we mean is, once we take that break, we have a gap of 2 to 3 years. So it's like this, when I am a Bengali, I come to Karnataka, I am in Bangalore, everyone is talking Kannada. I start talking Kannada. I may forget some of my Bengali, right? Because I'm so used to talking Kannada. But today, if I have to go back to my hometown, I have to start recollecting. It's something like this. Your muscle memory, say you are raising a child, your muscle memory talks about, oh, my vaccination schedule. Your muscle memory talks about the feeding time, sleep cycle, growth cycle, school admission. All your work takes a back seat. And how can you do that? Just like any other person, just like, anyone who's at a break, you have to practice. You have to start talking, practice like you never left. Something. Okay, let me again ask an open question to everyone. Are you practicing, if you are looking at going back to work, joining a corporate, are you practicing blocking your calendar and just doing some work? Maybe 30 minutes of reading LinkedIn, 30 minutes of reading one HR article. Of course, I have put here per week, but make it per day. Do we follow some HR leaders? Figure out who are the CHROs today of Accenture, of TCS, of maybe Adobe, of any other organization today. What are they doing? What are their lateral hirings looking like? What is the kind of work? What is the kind of skill building in HR, in HR general forums that is happening? There are forums which today McKinsey does a lot of publishing, right? Randstad today does a lot of work in these lines. They have a lot of talks. Forums like this that we are talking about today, you know so what can we do, what is happening in the world? So we try to make yourself relevant. Practice your work, practice your personal branding, practice what you have done. So stimulate, practice a lot of mock interviews. Today, AI is such a blessing, I'm telling you. Today, in Chat GPT, Claude, or any other AI tool that you pick up, you can practice mock interviews with the tool. Again, don't ask them for answers, ask them for the questions. They are so smart, they will even ask you probing questions like a human would ask, right? Simulate that. So try to bring in that, what your thoughts or your muscle memory was when you were working maybe 2 years back or 3 years back. Find out avenues to speak up, you know, connect with communities, connect with forums, tie up with a lot of voluntary organizations. Like there are organizations like something that I have connected myself is Mentor Together and Teach for India. Any forums that you go, you speak, it stimulates what you have left behind, right? So you practice. The more you practice, the more you talk, the more you practice your interviews, talking, it builds up that becomes your competitive advantage and it builds up your confidence. What it also helps you is you would also see what are some of the language changes that has happened. And this again, I keep telling is open a JD offer for LinkedIn jobs, open a JD which comes on Naukri or any other JD that you find on the internet. Of course, which has to be relevant to HR or any other field of HR. See what is it that there could be a change in the terminologies which are getting used today, the language shift, maybe what you have done 5 years back as recruitment, or today that is known as talent acquisition, right? Like I have done a lot of work in uh, sourcing, scheduling, interview, and that is actually known as talent acquisition operations, right? Candidate management, candidate pipeline management operations. There could be so many different terminologies today, depending on the organization or whatever works best. So see if your resume is talking, because today we have ATS. I'm sure you all know about the application tracking systems that different organization works today, right? So One thing is read 10 JDs, see how relevant your resume, pick up those keywords, change the language. So talk the language which is relevant in today's market. The work that you have done has not become irrelevant, but the language and the terminologies that you used have become irrelevant. There are new terminologies. It is something, it's like today I was riding a cycle, tomorrow I will ride a bike. But my entire thing is I have to go from place A to place B. I'm just using a different means. So, and in both the cases, I have to learn to balance it, right? So your skills are not outdated, but the language that you speak, the way you propose or proposition yourself, that is something that has to be more relevant to today's time and today's era. So that is something that we have to do. So now what we have done, just recapping, one is we have rewritten our story, built our personal branding. We have worked on our self-confidence, erasing those doubts. Then we have to talk like we never left, which means our language, our resume, our positioning has to be relevant, which is relevant in today's market. Having said that, I want to spend some time on what are the different HR avenues or landscapes today we have. So, first thing is, of course, the people facing role. This is the most well known, and this is the role that HR has already been known for, of an HR business partner, a talent acquisition partner, HR generalist, whatever. But today, in this people facing role, some new things that are coming is there are big organizations where they are looking at people who could work on HR policies, which means you know about the labor laws of the country, or you know about how to manage employee grievances, right? There are a lot of organization, big ones, product or service organization who have specific organization culture and DEI units where you actually, in the organization culture kind of a unit, you work on the organization values on and how that can be driven and percolated down to the organization base. DEI, of course, working on a lot of diversity initiatives, whether it is gender diversity or people with disability or any other kind of diversity. There are so many spectrums of diversity today. Employee relationships, how do we manage employee conflicts, confrontations? So this is what is are the people facing roles of HR. And today I'm just giving an example. If you have worked as HR business partner in your past, you are relevant for all these roles. It is just about how what the JD reads and how you position your experience against that, right? Because all these roles are very new. They will never get someone with a DEI champ for last 20 years or who have done only DEI. No, you will always get a mixed bag of people who have done talent acquisition, who have done HRBP role, and then today they are maybe driving DEI in the organizations. Process and ops, again, very close to my heart. This is something that I have done extensively. HR operations, TA operations, comp and ben, payroll, HR systems, performance management, all this. I'm just not reading, but this is HR ops today is really a very broad spectrum. A lot of GCCs are coming to India. Cities like Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, NCR is flooded with these opportunities. At the lateral level, especially if you come with age to 14 years kind of experience in HR or HR ops, you are actually sitting on a gold mine. You are the candidate that the person is going to reach out. Even if you have done an HRBP role, you can come here. So one is you will really have to be very open because from my experience, but again, it's a very personal choice. I have seen a lot of core HR who are HRBP or TA. They don't want to venture here. But today, if you are looking at a comeback and you want avenues, these are avenues which are really waiting for you and they are gold mines. Then, of course, you have the specialist role, whether it is into learning and development, a lot of content creation, HR analytics, again growing by leaps and bounds, where they look for people who understand analytical tools, who knows how the tools work with HR data. Transformations. I myself have led various transformations while, although I'm from operations background. But yeah, to understand what the tools and how the tools can help make your HR processes smarter, better. HR tools and technology, workforce planning. A lot of organizations today are focusing on contingent workforce, gig workings. It's happening. It's slow, but it's happening, and the future holds there, honestly. So these are your, different avenues of HR, and you can take these keywords, put it on LinkedIn, and it will give you a lot of jobs, and it will give you a lot of avenues where you can look for those jobs here, right? These are different keywords that you can use today. So once you understand what your different avenues, and again, here I'm talking about different programs. And if you are actively seeking your work job, you will know you have LinkedIn job. And again, so something that I want to say is when you're on LinkedIn, it is wise to use open to work privately. I've seen a lot of people do open to work, which is viewed to everyone, but again, a personal choice. You have company career page, you have diversity hiring drives, returnship programs today, returning mothers or a career break. You have employee referrals, and you can just go ahead and try all the avenues today, which is beyond just Naukri. But again, Naukri is an excellent platform. And coming from talent acquisition background, I know 90% of the lateral hiring today in any organization happens through Naukri. So yeah, Naukri is definitely amazing. So once have this, the next thing, of course, is consistency. Rely on consistency. What I mean by this is, and again, going by some personal example, I actually started running, and I'm actually a very amateur runner, and have started this maybe a year back. And I today can run 10K at a stretch. And a lot of my friends ask me, how did you do that? Which trainer did you take? What is your VO2 max? And there are so many other technical terms. And I said, I did nothing. One thing that I did is I showed up for my run, for my walk every day. Even if that means I could do just 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. Trust me, in last 14 months, at least 6 days a week, I showed up. Even though I had the toughest day, most bad day, I felt bloated. I felt I don't want to go. I felt, oh my God, world is bad. I still go. So I think what is important, girls, is building that consistency. I know showing up for interview, failing that interview, breaking down, but showing up again, starting your positioning again, relooking at the JD again, build your resume again, apply for that job again, look, prepare for that interview again, show up again. You will have to continuously keep doing that, relying on the consistency of what you are doing. Imagine if you were at a job today, would you not do it? Would you not attend that same weekly meeting, same one on ones, same KPIs? Would you not do it again and again? Then why not do it for yourself? Set your own personal KPIs that I want to do 5 LinkedIn readings this week, and measure yourself against it. Did I do 5 or did I stop at 2? I want to practice at least 3 practice sessions of interviews, and ask, take help. Maybe you will have one of your ex bosses, who was very kind to you. Take help. And trust me, today people are there to help. Forums like this are there, communities are there. Do that practice. Set a target. I want to practice 3 interview sessions this week. Measure yourself. Did I do it or did I fail in that KPI? I want to write one LinkedIn article per week. Did I write my article for the week? Send your own share, do your personal KPI settings. It is so important because if you do it for yourself, you will do it at work. One very key thing, and again, I'm going back to the confidence part of it, which I personally feel once we are in our break, we are so self-consumed by our low confidence, low everything, that we undervalue ourselves in our mind. Once you do that here, whoever is the interviewer, the person will sense. So, in your mind, you should be the best product in the market. If you are the best product in the market here, your interviewer, whatever the interviewer thinks, that's because there are so many external factors playing, you will get that sense. So yes, rely on consistency, coming back, show back, do this, apply for 3 to 5 roles every per week, follow up for every application. Do that sincere follow up. I'm telling you, 20% of your follow-ups will give you some response. Yes, the follow-up hit rates are low, but what is important is in that 20%, you will get that first job. Track everything, make a list because it makes you feel good. Which company, what job did you apply? When did you apply? What was the outcome? That kind of, builds that entire framework, so which is so, so important. So, what we covered is rewrite your story, erase the self doubt, talk like you have never left, be relevant, understand your avenues, rely on consistency. Something that I'll give you is, some of the forums or some of the people that I follow today who have really added value to this, my journey of taking a gap and come back. A lot of LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning has a lot of tools. So if I have to go back to this what I have given you, all these, avenues, put them as a keywords for this course learning, and it will give you a lot of courses. These are free courses. Please take, be part of the LinkedIn Creator Accelerator community. It has a lot of people who have taken a break, who are exploring avenues. You could get a lot of different ideas and not just sticking to a corporate, comeback idea. Four certifications, which I found very relevant other than LinkedIn Learning, was WebVeda and Udemy. WebVeda, very, very Indian context, extremely, they have very limited courses, but I think it's very powerful. It takes AI in a very simple way. It takes how you could work on yourself, whether it is writing, whether it is creating something of your own. Because even once you go to corporates today, people are looking at something. What is the new innovation that you can bring in? What is that new something that you can create, right? Some people who have really inspired me, and you can follow them on LinkedIn, Insta. Adam Grant, he's a very well known HR guru. He has some books, beautiful, beautiful, I would say, very close to my heart. Ankur Vairiku, very amazing personality. Please see his story. Some of his, he does a lot of this, programs. Listen to him, Insta. Uh, he's a lot more on Insta than on LinkedIn. This girl called Niharika Kaur, and I discovered her. So she does a lot of resume writing and also can help you build lot on your LinkedIn. And Annie Filipova, this lady, she was a long time City banker. Okay, she was with City for almost 25 years at a very senior position. And what made her take a break and what she is doing after her break, that journey, it's very, very inspiring. Justin Welch is again a very well known, and he does a lot of, because I have been thinking on solo entrepreneurship. So he is known to be a guru for that on the social media. Go through that, do some certification course. I myself have done a strategic HR certification course from IIM Kolkata a year back. So it just opens up and lot. And I would say if you are really wanting to pursue yourself into your senior positions and you have spent 10 to 12 years in HR and want to pursue HR, it's good if you can do some certification course in strategic HR. Helps your thought process and gives you a lot of ideas of what HR is, just more than your jobs. And that helps you preparing yourself for the next role. I think when you have taken a break, what is very important is, yes, what you have done is done. How do you prepare yourself for the future market? How do you make your talent available and relevant for the future market? So that's very important. these are some of the books, and I will not. So, one is Reinventing HR. Please read this if you are a core HR person. It is one of HBR's 10 must reads. It talks about a lot of new HR policies for organizations like Netflix, LinkedIn, and what are some of the HR practices these organizations do, because these are our HR world is changing. It's changing fast with AI, and as the talent landscape is changing, so are the HR rules of the world are changing. So yes, these are some of the books which has helped me go through my journey as I am. And something that I picked up, if you can, is this book. I don't know if you can see it. This is the latest book, which is by the CEO of LinkedIn, Open to Work. That's what the book says. But very simple, and I found it very relevant. And it is not just for people who have taken the break, but for anyone, who is looking to stay relevant in the job market or in the talent market today. So, in short, this was my framework of return. What I would want to end this session is, of course, I will share a cheat sheet, maybe, Revati, with you, that you can maybe share with our audience, or I will
Yeah.
also put it on my LinkedIn page of what this return framework is. What are some of the learnings that we can? And I would really want you to set some personal KPIs for yourself and do this for yourself in the next 7 days. And I am very sure that you will definitely take your talent to the next level. So, this is what it is that, and this something that I have felt through my journey, that when you take a pause, take a break, don't in your mind, don't think that you have to start over again, right? You have just stepped back and you will just continue that journey. There is a continuity. Don't take this as a break. It's just a pause, and you will continue after the pause. Like, if you're going on a long road journey, say you're traveling from Kashmir to Kanyakumari by road, and if you take a midway break, you're not going to start your journey again. You are just starting from wherever you paused. So it's something like this. I think it's a lot about mindset. It's a lot about community. So that was my framework for today. I hope it was helpful to you, and I'm open to connect on LinkedIn, on or through the Her Second Innings platform, whatever way. And thank you so much for today's time and your attention and everything. So that is all, Revati, for me. If we have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer it or take it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What can I say? I just told it would be like maybe we can consider as a motivational Monday, but actually, mind-boggling. It's been so. I am motivated. I am super motivated from all your slides, and each of the slide was a gem for me. When I could see from the spectacle of my candidates whom I meet on a day-to-day basis,
Hmm, hmm, hmm,
it
hmm.
so appealed to that person in me, actually. Thank you so much for the slide.
Absolutely.
It was really very, very motivating. And I think a lot of takeaway. And especially, I never saw it in a way. Define a KPI for a personal branding is something I have never thought about. It is so to the point. Yeah, we should do it
Absolutely.
for ourselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Revati. So if you look back, and KPIs always drove me. I'm an HR operations
Yeah,
person, right? So I was so
that's what.
used to. And when
Yeah,
you build
it
it for
hit me.
yourself,
Yeah. It hit me. I am like doing my appraisal. My KPIs are very important. So I'm
very
like
true.
every day, I'm like to the definition of KPI. My performance indicator is always there for me throughout in my professional life. Why
Absolutely.
not personally is something I really loved how you brought about that element of it. And lastly, how you said about it's just a pause, right? You
Absolutely.
absolutely what you said resonated with me. Having the contacts, like I day to day, I connect with the candidates. They always want to start from beginning after the pause. It's just a pause, right? You continue your journey from that pause. No, maybe sometimes we will have to reroute and maybe come back.
Absolutely.
That's a different
Absolutely.
scenario altogether, but it need not be a restart as always. Wonderful, wonderful session. We do have a couple of questions. People are very excited about your session. And yeah, I think, no, you have spoken about like talk as if there was no break. But then there is one question which comes about from the audience. Hey,
Hmm.
what is that like if they are asking about my break? There is a stress on that. So how do a job seeker confidently explain a career gap during an interview?
Great. So the first thing is you have to yourself acknowledge, right? So I'll give you some example. A lot of people told me that, try to cover up your gap. Oh, you just have some 6 months of gap. Don't, just brush it over. No, own it. If you have
Okay.
taken, and you are a logical person, there's a right to think. The first thing, as I said, that stop feeling guilty about the break in your mind. Prepare a
Mm,
reason, you know. And today, people are open to accept that. Any organization today, and I'll tell you where the mindset comes from. When industrial era began, right? It was only men who were in the workforce. They never
yes.
needed because they were the providers, right?
Mm,
Women were the caregivers. When the things changed, and today women they want to be the providers, the caregivers, everything
yes.
together, it's a very natural phenomenon to take that break. Uh, so first is own that break, have an answer that I took this break because I was into a caregiving duty which needed my time, you know,
Mm,
and I did not want to be unfair to my
yeah,
work, organization,
absolutely.
or myself. Have those answers
Yes.
ready, or tell that I took a break because I had a caregiving to an ailing parent, or maybe I took a break because I wanted to work on myself and make myself better. So I did this and this courses. This is what I did. I tried to explore doing some business, but then I figured out that no, I would want to continue. So while I was doing all this, I wanted to be fair to my work or responsibility, what was currently to me, and I did not want to juggle. And
Right.
today, a lot of people respect it. And I'm also telling you, today, a lot of agencies, uh, agency guys who will call you, for a screening call. Like I have
Right.
experienced screening call.
Yeah.
They will say
Consultancies. Yeah.
consultancies. Yeah, that's the right word. So they'll call you, oh, you're on a break. Okay. That okay, the tonality of the okay will say that they have closed you as a candidate in their
Yes.
mind. So we have to be prepared, but you can also still force that. Yes, I have taken a career break, but this was for a child giving or child care responsibility or caregiving responsibility, or I was uh, helping my husband in standing up his startup, and today I've done that. I want to come back. That
Hmm.
is the reason for my break, but this is what I can give you. So have an answer ready. As I said, you should practice that answer many times, telling it to yourself with confidence. That is when the
Hmm.
confidence passed out. So, yes, you'll have to first be transparent. So, answering that question, first be very transparent about your break. Never hide a break. Second, have an answer. Why did you take a break? Prepare it and contextually put it to whomever you're talking. Out of 10 people who are calling you, 5 people may shut you off, but there will be 5 people who are open to you and you will reach your goal.
Awesome. Very, very well put. Monali, if I can ask you to stop sharing your screen
Okay,
because
sure, sure, sure,
the
sure, sure,
audience would
sure.
be able to see you. Yeah, this
Ah,
makes so
okay.
much better.
Okay,
Yes.
sure.
So,
Yeah.
now that the same relative question to what you said, I think the second question is also that no, what advice would you give someone who has applied to many jobs but isn't getting any interview calls? It again comes to the first call that you get, and the rejection happens just because no the ABCD of the JD also they wouldn't understand the consultancy people, but just because we have women on break, the second call doesn't happen. So, yeah.
Okay. So, when it is talking about applying many jobs, and if you are not still getting a single interview call, so first of all, please pause.
Mm,
Look at what kind of jobs you are applying. And as I said, that your talent has to be relevant to the current JD language. JD terminologies, right? So
Yes.
do that analysis. When you applied for the job, what was the JD? Okay, and maybe this no one will tell you. You have to do a lot of analysis. Bring your JD. Is your JD, while in your mind you're thinking, oh yes, this JD is for me, but does your personal branding, is your LinkedIn talking to your resume and your resume talking to how you applied, right? So when you have today recruiters, a lot of those recruiters, they see your resume, they also quickly go and verify you on LinkedIn, right? So
Yeah.
ensure that there is a relevance between the JD and your resume. That is the only time when, and very important, ATS today plays a very important role, whether we like it or not, right? So if the application tracking systems, whether it is the how the algorithms is working, and there are a lot of articles today on LinkedIn or on Insta or internet as such, of how that algorithm is working and see, India is a supply-led market, right? We have more
Mm.
talent in the market than the corporate job again, as I'm telling, corporate
Yeah.
job. Okay. We have a lot of avenues today. We don't even go there. But, anyways, coming back here, when you're applying for the jobs, see, will that algorithm pull up your CV, right? And you will have to do some, as I said, you have to do your work on your resume. Once you rework on your resume, map it to JD, and then apply, I am sure you will get that first interview calls. But if you have applied and you're still not getting a single call, that means your resume is not relevant to JD, and maybe your
Mm.
resume is not relevant in the current talent market.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more thing is, I would suggest this thing that they should take help of communities like yours, her second innings, or you have her key, which is Naukri's
Yeah.
Infoids forum. But there are so many other things. Talk to people. Talk to people who are already in the this game and how they are working. That would give a lot of thoughts to these people.
Yeah. Absolutely. Very, very well put. I think we are already way past our time, but I would pick up
Okay.
one more question before we wrap up. This is really, I th thought, right? It should be something you can personally, from your experience, you can give in your input. What qualities do HR professionals look for beyond a technical skill during a hiring? This is really
Okay.
something is very important to me as well. Yes. So, what
Okay.
are the triads that you look into? Because it's not absolutely no apple to apple only that match of a technicality and other things. What is that beyond the technicality?
Okay, and again, this is a very personal perspective, and whatever. So one thing
Mm.
first is, I would definitely look at communication, and by communication, I just don't mean language.
Yes.
How are you able to put across your thoughts? How are you able to make the other person speak up as well?
Mm.
When you are in an HR environment, it is very human interaction becomes a key, right? So, of course, I would want to see how does that person bring in the human interactions and is able to take the human interaction to the next level. Second thing I would also judge is how does the person react in a situational kind of a thing. Today, we are working in a multi-facade organizations. We have different stakeholder, we have different team members. People today work virtually, come from different backgrounds. How I would want to see how is that person able to anchor himself or herself
Mm.
between when we are working in large groups, right?
Yeah.
Uh, when
The
I am,
adaptability,
I
basically.
adaptability and how do I react to situations?
Mm.
When we are go for HR professionals, you will be put into a lot of situational things like, you have a high pressing deadline coming. How would you behave? And what I would suggest is when you're thinking of an answer, thinking holistically, because it is that situation, what someone is trying to judge you is not just about you, that I will do this, but have you taken your ecosystem into account?
Right.
Have you thought how your decision will impact your team members? your
Hmm.
stakeholders, how will you take everyone in the organization and move forward? So yeah, so the first thing is on the communication, human interaction. Then second is your situational leadership of how you can, frame work through it. Third thing, okay, technical skills, since we're not talking about, also would be, uh, uh, you know, with what confidence and with what conviction you are able to answer, or, that's what I said, that your confidence and your conviction plays a very, very important role. Today, I can have a very low confidence on myself, and I can be the best of the candidate, and still the hiring manager will have a doubt, will can this person represent the organization? So I think three things is what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah, that is really, yeah, something everyone has to take it forward with. I think it's not about, it was an excellent question. Even I do think these are other traits which are very much important, as you mentioned. I did say last question was the last question, but there are like many coming up. So I will take one more question if it's
Mhm.
okay with you. So how can someone start a career in HR? Because it's a HR question I wanted to really ask you. So how can someone start a career in HR if they are from a non-HR background altogether after a break?
Okay. So one is, first of all, you have to do some amount of preparation, some way. So
Yeah.
something that happened to me, because when I was coming to Accenture, I had no idea I was coming to HR. They wanted someone who had a very strong operational understanding. Okay,
Hmm.
so basically they wanted someone who has led team, who understands KPIs, who knows different OpEx tools, and of course who can talk through. And that is something that I had done. So, brilliant questions. Even I'm thinking, honestly, when I'm answering this, one thing is with HR operations, with GCCs coming in here, right? They
Yeah.
are open to take people from non-technical background. But I would want to, with said
Oh.
that, I would want to tell that you will have to package yourself relevant for that. Like, say, if I have to take that, I am coming from, what do I say? Say I'll just say I am coming from marketing or sales background, right? I
Hmm.
come from marketing and sales background today. What is in that HR space which is most, close that I can? I can start with learning and development, maybe,
Okay.
right? Or maybe I could start with something like I could start with some content creation, which is an HR. But I think what is important is you also invest yourself and learn something about HR. Today, there are hundreds of tools, courses which are available
Places where we
where you
can.
can run off HR. So in that case, what it does is you have a non-HR background and do kind of a mapping. Non-HR background, these are my skills. Okay. HR will need these skills.
Yeah.
Communication is a skill which will help you in marketing as well as in HR, but the context of use could be very different. But at the end, so you build your package your skill along with you learn something about HR. Let it be a theoretical knowledge. Okay. But when you package this together, that's when it becomes easier for you to step into that. Um, One of the things that I would do is excellent avenues would be the GCCs to start with. I
Oh.
think they are open because
Hmm.
people with core HR may not want to get into HR operations, but a non-HR person can start their HR journey through this and then keep building on. Do some, like I have personally done. One was I was fortunate enough for Accenture to offer me an HR course from Cornell University. It's a certification I have done. And then I have personally done a strategic HR certification from IIM Kolkata. So this kind of certification packaged with your experience will help you through. Again, it will never be, one short journey,
Yeah.
easy. No, you will have to have the resilience, focus, and you will definitely be able to do that. Yeah.
Awesome. That was wonderful. And altogether put, I think it was really a lovely session that anyone could have associated with. Thank you so much, Monali. But before I go, I also wanted to ask about the cheat sheet that you spoke about. So,
Yeah.
where can one, would you share the link to us that we can communicate with our audience? How would that work?
I will share that cheat sheet with you, Revati, and maybe you could share it. I will also put it up on my LinkedIn.
Yeah,
I'll
that
do
would
it
be
both
great. Yeah,
ways.
you
I'll
can
do
give
both
that
ways.
link. Yeah.
Yes, and I'll share that link with you as
Yeah.
well.
I think that
Yeah,
would
I'll
be
do that.
really wonderful for no wonderful takeaway for all the audience. And even if they are joining us later,
They can
because
go
this is
through
a
that.
recording,
Yeah.
yeah, they can go through the cheat sheets. It was really thoughtful and very cohesively put together, keeping women on break in mind. Thank you so much for today's session,
Thank
Monali.
you,
I think
Revati, for this
I would want to,
opportunity.
yeah, today only I would want to invite you for the further sessions that is going to come up with us, and lovely having you. Have a great
It was
now
absolutely
closing
my
thoughts.
pleasure. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone who gave your time for today's session. Look forward to connecting again. Thank
Yeah,
you. Bye,
absolutely.
everyone.
Absolutely.
Have a
Bye,
wonderful
everyone.
day.